Hello, Scarefest fans. This is Joe Lewis from Bonehead Weekly. Sorry about the twisting thing I did last week in the chair. I know it's aggravating. I'm back with a new movie that's out in theaters that none of you are watching. So, the year was 1989. We did a whole episode on Bonehead Weekly about 1989 and why it's important. But in this context, it's important because we saw three movies, basically creature features, that came out in 89, and they were all dealt with people working under the water, right? The first one was Deep Star 6, directed by Sean Cunningham. Great poster, couple of good scenes, Miguel Ferrer. The next was a Leviathan, directed by George P. Cosmostas. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But he also directed Tombstone. His son, Pan, directed the brilliant Mandy with Nicolas Cage. Peter Weller, great cast. Daniel Stern from Home Alone. Also underwater, cool creature, kind of a great sets, not so great creature, wonderful movie. I like it a lot. I like Deep Star 6 scenes in it. And the other one was James Cameron's The Abyss, which I know isn't a horror film, but there are aliens under the sea that come up at the end. It is kind of a creature feature. I'm just letting you know. They all came out. So I have a love for underwater horror films. And when Underwater, the movie, I saw the trailer for, I thought, well, this is going to suck. Turns out it was shot in 2017. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but 20th Century Fox was just bought by a rat. And by that, I mean Disney. Disney bought 20th Century Fox. And Underwater was not a huge budget, $80 million, pretty good for a horror film, was part of 20th Century Fox's movies that still need to come out. Disney couldn't give two shits. So 3 years later, they dump it in the middle of January with very little fanfare. Stars Kristen Stewart. She gets a lot of crap because she's in those pretty bad movies where the vampires sparkle. She's really good in this. In fact, I enjoyed this movie more than I thought I ever could. And I saw it at a Saturday matinee. There's probably only me, two or three other people. A couple of the other stars that you might know is Vincent Cassel. He's a French actor. He's also a director. And TJ Miller, the comedian. Is a simplistic plot. They're underwater. Most of it is explained to you by the opening credits. They're underwater, and they are drilling for resources like always. And they're something's going on, and for the first 5 minutes of the movie, something happens and it takes off from there. So it moves along at a pretty good pace, okay? There's no issues with it being slow. I think Kristen Stewart is amazing in it. I think she does a really good job. Probably doesn't get enough credit for her good acting. This movie was just dumped. It's directed by William Eubank. He directed a kind of a cool little movie a few years ago called The Signal. They're underwater. They're mining. Something happens. A survival group of about 7 or 8 of them get away, and they're trying to make their way, and something's outside attacking them. Fairly simplistic plot. The third act has a little bit of a twist. Not a huge twist, but a little bit of twist, just enough to make it entertaining. Is it the greatest movie I've ever saw? No. Is it the best movie I saw last week? Maybe. I think me having such bottom of the basement expectations allowed me to enjoy this so much because it doesn't look cheap. I kind of like the creatures at the end, especially the semi explanation of it all. And I think you'll have a lot of fun with it. Now, do you need to break your neck to go out and see it? Probably not. Do I think you should go out and see it? Absolutely. And if not, please check it out on Netflix. I think this is one of those that unfortunately just got dumped in a billion dollar merger. But check out Underwater. I highly recommend it. This has been Joe Lewis of Bonehead Weekly. Thanks so much. See ya in October, Scarefest.